Greetings, Haynesbridge family. I'm Miss Armstrong, assistant principal. I support 8th graders with the last names A through L. Mr. Dove is our other assistant principal. He supports 8th graders with the last name of M through Z. We are extremely excited about the 8th grade trip this year. For our returning families, you know the trip. You probably have had students who attended the trip before. For our new families, the 8th grade trip is a really exciting time for our students to connect with the material they learn in Georgia Studies. So I wanted to briefly get everyone together, or at least make this video, so that any questions can be answered regarding the 8th grade trip. So hopefully, once you watch this, you'll have all your questions answered. The trip is October 20th through the 21st, and it's $235. It's a 2-day, 1-night trip. We'll visit a fort where the kids will have a great time, Andersonville, Plains. We'll do the riverboat cruise, and that's usually for the kids the most exciting. To make this video just to make sure that everyone was on the same page. So we're going to review some of the documents your children will bring home. They will get a big packet. It has about 15 pages. Sorry, we are not saving trees with this, but there are 15 pages roughly in this document. The top sheet has a list of all the documents, and it even says next to it what needs to be signed and returned. So I wanted to briefly go over some of the information you'll see in the document. One of the items is the trip itinerary. This is yours to keep. You can hang it up on your refrigerator or wherever you need to keep it so that you know basically at every time where your child is, October 20th or the 21st. So here is the trip document. The next one is basically just a permission slip. It's saying that my child has permission to go on the trip. It's real basic. It has information you need to fill out. That needs to be returned. There's just a basic slip about payment. It has whom to make the payments. You'll make it directly to our travel company, Logan Mulvihill Tours. You'll make the checks directly to them. You can send check, money order, or cash. That is fine, and we'll take it. But just make sure you send a check directly to this company when you pay September 9th. The next document in the packet talks about payment information. It just tells you your child will come to school September 9th if they're going on the trip with their full payment and this completed packet. If they come September 9th and this packet is not complete, we will not accept their payment. So just make sure September 9th you send them with the cash, with the check, with the money order for the trip, and this information tells you to whom to make the check. So if you have any questions, refer to this. Of course, because we're taking your babies out overnight, we do need the medical information. So you'll find a few forms that just have information about non-prescription medicine and also some forms that have information about medical consent. Please make sure you fill all of them out carefully. One form does ask that you take a copy of your insurance card and send it with us. Please make sure the day of the 9th, when they return their money and their packets, that a copy of the insurance card is attached as well, because we'll need that in order to make sure that everything is finalized. There is also a permission slip for video, for films. There is an Andersonville video that's PG-13, so just make sure you review the form so they can watch that film. There's some more documents about the cell phone use. Now, parents, this form is what's most important to your child. It is the roommate checklist form. I promise I'm going to do the best that I can to give everyone their roommate selection. So the only thing I need from your child is to make sure that they talk to everyone they want to stay with. 4 people in a room total. And they need to make sure that every form matches up. So everybody's name should be on the form. Please make sure you talk to each other. If I get one form with 2 names and another form with 3 names, it's harder for me to identify who should go where, and then I'll just have to kind of plug in extra people, which usually works out. But students, if you want to make sure that you're roomed with your peers, with your friends, with someone you're comfortable with, please make sure that everybody gets together, all 4 people, and you write your name on the roommate form. If you don't have a name, that's fine. Just trust that I'll try to put you in the best room for you, okay? So I've usually done a good job of putting people together well, so I think that will be fine. You'll also find in your packet of information, it's called the Georgia Trip Tips information, some of the essentials that I do want parents to know, and if you can help us talk to your kids. Number one, always have a buddy. The only time that we're really by ourselves, when the kids are really by themselves, is on River Street. They get off the bus and they are allowed to explore River Street in Savannah. They're allowed to go into the shops, buy t-shirts, buy candy. They're really allowed to just explore. They must stay with their group. They must stay with at least a buddy. They need to be aware and they need to be safe. Students, we're gonna make sure that you have a time to return to the bus. Your chaperone will still be on River Street making sure that everyone is together, but we need your help to make sure that you are aware and that you're with a buddy, preferably a large group, and that y'all are making good decisions together and representing Haynesbridge and your families as expected. There's information for how they should behave on the bus, on tours, at restaurants, in the hotel. Just, if you can review this document with them. The biggest thing to remember, guys, with the hotel is we are not going to be the only guests. And you all get back to the hotel and we have so much fun. It's a long day and you want to stay up and chit chat with your friends. There are other guests in the hotel. We cannot be loud. When you get back to your room, you need to make sure that you stay in your room. You do not leave your room for anything. You'll have your chaperone's room number. You can call if you have any medical needs, any emergencies, if you're not feeling well, if there's anything happening in your room. Please do not leave your room. Please call your chaperone. You'll have my hotel number. You'll have your chaperone's hotel number. So please just make sure that you call someone. Do not leave the room for any reason. That would be something that we call your parents for. Parents, just a few last minute tips. You'll have another sheet that just says things to know. It has about 18 tips. It seems like a lot of things you need to know. Some of the highlights: make sure you arrive at Haynesbridge no later than 8:40. We're going to leave promptly at 9 o'clock. Students will be back. We'll return October 21st, roughly about 6:30. Parents, I'm going to be honest with you, with Atlanta traffic, sometimes it's 6:30, sometimes it's 7:30. What we do ask the kids to do is make sure they call home when we're an hour out. So when we are on the way back to Haynesbridge Friday, we're going to ask them to call you so that you know, hey, we're an hour out. You can head to the school in a little while. So that means, students, you really have to preserve your battery life. I know you get on the bus and want to text and email and all. Well, I don't know if you're emailing, but you want to, you want to be on your phone for a long time. Make sure you preserve your battery life so that when we get back, you have enough space to call your families. The other thing is we are eating lunch the last day at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So that between 1:30 and 6 o'clock is a long time. So you want to make sure you have an extra snack for that period of time so that you do have something to eat on the bus ride home. Because again, that's a long ride and you'll be a little bit hungry. Be sure to pack a lunch for the first day. For sure. So you'll need a lunch for the first day, potentially an extra sandwich for the last day, or at least a snack. So you want to make sure that you have food for that day. If you have any medications that your child needs to take on the trip, please make sure you get with Mr. Handel. You'll complete the medical form in this packet, but make sure you see Mr. Handel, our clinic aide, to give him the correct doses of the medicine and so that he can make sure that we are administering it correctly over the trip. And that goes for prescription and non-prescription medicine. Students, dress code. Please make sure that you follow the school dress code. Even though we're not specifically in the building, you're still expected to adhere to the school dress code. So let's not make that an issue. Think about the weather. It might be a little bit unpredictable. You may want to pack an umbrella or a hooded jacket just in case it rains for some reason over the trip. So I tried to make the video not too long. Hopefully this answered some of your questions. There is also a PowerPoint attached to the Fulton County, the Haynesbridge homepage. So you can look at the PowerPoint for more information as well. But your child, if they are paying for the trip, will get a packet, this whole packet of information to take home. And if you all can sit down and go through it together, return it September 9th with payment, that would be helpful. If you have any questions, you can email me at armstrongr@fultonschools.org, or you can give me a call, 470-254-8409. Again, this is Miss Armstrong, Assistant
principal from Haynesbridge Middle School.